everyone, my name is Sarah and this is Emmy, or today maybe Pascal. And today I'm going to be making a mashup cosplay of Elsa's spirit gown and Rapunzel, because I have discovered that doing costume replicas is not really as much fun as putting your own spin on stuff. And because I like doing thrift flips, I have this old wedding dress that I'm going to be turning into the cosplay. Although, to be fair, this is not the right one. I got excited and already started chopping up that one. The one that I am using for this is one that I got at a thrift store for $2 because the girl checking me out made a mistake. It's supposed to be $12. I did go back and donate the money later though. But I still get to brag that I got the whole dress for $2. Let's show you what I got. Here we go. One old wedding dress missing a chunk, one very long sheer curtain, stretch mesh, stretch jersey, pink and purple dye, an improved wig, Rapunzel leggings, and one very helpful assistant ready to go. High five! I pinned the 4 bodice pieces that I had slightly modified from Simplicity 8979 to the old wedding dress skirt. Did I feel bad about chopping up someone's special dress? Slightly, but it's better than it going to waste. The fabric was pretty flimsy, so I ironed interfacing to it. I pinned and stitched the pieces together. Pressing your seams make a garment go from handmade to well-made. Checking in with my assistant here. Napping on the job. I pinned the bodice and the lining that I didn't mention together at the neckline. And stitched. I always try to explain understitching here and always fail. You stitch the seam allowance to the lining to keep it from peeking out, and then you trim it. And more ironing. The base of the bodice is done. Next, I'm going to try and combine... this is the pattern I've been using, so I want this part of the yoke. So I'm going to take the top of the sleeve pattern and add in this part. Excuse me. I need that pattern piece. Busted being the paparazzi. I pinned the yoke of my bodice pattern onto the stretch mesh to make the first part of the overlay. Here's a more clear view of the back. You can see how I've put the 2 pieces together and cut them out as one. And stitched up the side seams. I used 1/4 inch elastic for the neckline and turned it over and stitched it again. The tops of the sleeves are sheer, so I cut those from the mesh too. The bottoms were cut from solid jersey. I attached those pieces and then top stitched the seam allowance down so it wouldn't flip up. With my disappearing ink marker, I traced down the center of the seam and then hand stitched gold teardrop crystals. Instead of a snowflake here, I was going for Rapunzel's sun symbol. I think it looks pretty good. After attaching the sleeves to the bodice, I pinned both bodice pieces along the seams to keep them lined up. Base bodice is now done. Also, it rained. Emmy does not like rain. I'm going to cut out the spiked shapes next. My plan is to hand base them on and then shorten the length of my zigzag stitch until it's basically a satin stitch and stitch that down. I ended up cutting out the spikes from iron-on interfacing, then fusing that to the satin. It cut down on the fraying a bit. Pinning this to the bodice took a lot of finagling to get everything laying flat on a not flat surface. For the final white bodice detail, I cut some V's and diamond shapes and applied them in the same way. So yesterday I finished the white part of the bodice. Oh man. And while I was sewing on the diamonds, I sewed through my finger, so... Ow, that hurt. Now everyone's making jokes about, do I need stitches? I think one was enough. The next step is to put the diamonds on the bodice. I'm going for Rapunzel themed colors, so I'm going to use pink and purple and gold and green for Pascal the Chameleon. And then it's time to start the skirt. The bodice was the part that I've been planning on how I wanted to make it for the past few months, but I haven't thought about how I was going to do a skirt really at all, so. This is the heat transfer vinyl that I'm going to use on the skirt and the capes, but I don't quite have enough to do all of the capes, the skirt, and the bodice. Hello, Emmy. I'm going to use this on the bodice. This is faux leather, so I think if I just glue this on with E6000, that'll be fine. I left the green crystals off for now since they will interfere with the skirt seam. My Rapunzel's wedding ring arrived today, so you'll see that featured in the video from now on. It's day 5 or 6, and I don't really feel like sewing today, so I think I'm gonna make cookies instead. Look at this awesome nail polish I got. It's thermal, it changes color with temperature. And here is the tiara I made for this project. I took a first stab at drafting the skirt. I just took the panels and started pinning them where I thought they should belong. After quite a lot of work, I decided I really didn't like how it looked and scrapped the whole thing. It's over a week and a half later at this point. I had a rather hard time with my vaccine, so kind of haven't been doing anything for the past week and a half, but I'm feeling like sewing again, so that's good. And I've got this ready to go. I also decorated. I'm gonna mock up the skirt again today, but first it's a absolutely gorgeous day outside, so I think I'm gonna take Emmy to the park. Emmy, do you want to go to the park? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Are we at the park, Emmy? Go ahead. For the record, this is why I keep my dog very short. Well, I keep her fur very short. I drafted the skirt again, and this is what I ended up with. If I have the fabric for it, I hope. Alright, skirt step 1. Get your assistant out of the way. I laid out both curtain pieces that I had left, and the skirt pieces. I had to cut down slightly on the train, but otherwise it fit fine. For the capes, I just wanted to double check my math, which I used to scale up the screenshot, assuming that Elsa is my height, which is a big assumption. I actually enjoy math, although I've been told that's odd, but it works for me. After getting the approximate length from her height in the screenshot, I scaled up the drawing in the Art of Frozen 2 book. I set my serger for a narrow rolled hem and hemmed and serged the skirt pieces together. I reinforced the skirt pieces with a French seam for strength. Emmy, you're in the way. A lot. I leveled the hem, dooming this dress to only fit someone of my height forever. And then dip dyeing! I held the skirt and capes at different heights to achieve the color gradient. My poor arm. That went fairly well. They are now drying. The color gradient is absolutely gorgeous. Also, my hand has a new color gradient. Is it really crafting though if you don't dye yourself different colors? Emmy, that is not a bed. My costumes are getting bigger and bigger. First I had the giant Rapunzel ball gown, then I did Elsa the Frozen 1 with the long flowing cape, and now I have 2 flowing capes. I think the dyeing process went pretty darn well. I love it. As you can see, things are going well over here in pattern drafting land, with my assistants sitting on my work. Guys, you gotta go somewhere else. Okay? I drew out the big triangular points on my drafted pattern and cut them out, which destroyed the only copy of that pattern. I did not use interfacing on this part because I wanted the skirt to flow nicely. I did a couple tests on this little scrap of fabric. I have a basting stitch that may or may not get pulled out, and I have a dog in my lap now. And then a zigzag stitch to capture the edges. I have pinned most of them. I got about slightly less than halfway done when I realized that I was going to be running out of pins, so I sparingly used the rest to... Oh. I put like 3 pins in each triangle after that just to keep them in place, because when I move this, it's not going to go back in the same position. So I'm going to baste it and then use all those pins to pin the other half and then baste it again. I just finished the first triangle and this happened. This is going to take forever. I was not looking forward to doing that. But luckily I have my sewing companion to make it so much better, right, Emmy? Judah! Hi, buddy! You are on my sewing. Again. It has been an hour and I am halfway done! Done. I finished sewing the skirt last night, only a few tears were shed. I spent a lot of my crafting time today making a new shirt for my nephew, because for the first time in forever... Oh wait, hold on. For the first time in forever, I finally get to see him again. I used my Cricut Maker to cut out the diamonds. I really love the way that the skirt looks. The colors are just popping. It's the only first real detail that this is not, in fact, Elsa's spirit dress. And of course I have a dog on top of it. Here is the remnant of one of the lace things. The lace appliques. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get rid of that, but that is the cost of thrifting stuff. And now it's time to work on the capes, which is going to be interesting because I didn't make a pattern and I need them to be identical, so I have to make a pattern that is also transparent or double-sided. I threw out the old wedding dress lining and then realized that it would make the perfect pattern for this. Luckily it was a new trash bag, so it was fine. I anchored a piece of ribbon with pins to draw straight lines for the crystals. Oh, I didn't actually do any sewing this weekend because it was my birthday! Oh, hi Amy. And I got Nikita's first book, which I used to speak French. I also had a run-in with a zebra mussel, so ouch. But today I'm going to pet my dog, of course. I'm gonna lay... Oh, Emmy. She just knocked me over, Emmy. I'm being drama queen. Please move. Of the pear-shaped crystals, I have enough to do 5 of these stripes, but not the 7 that I have dry out. So I'm going to use some hotfix crystals that are basically the same color. The pink stripes are where the diamonds go. You know, these diamonds. The black ones are the crystals. That's the plan. Oh, and a dog nap. I laid out the cape twice and glued down the teardrop crystals. I spent a long time getting this all lined up very carefully. Yep, okay. So I'm gonna trace these lines with hot heat. That's not a belly rub. I trace the lines with a heat erase marker and then hotfix crystals to it. what I have left is basically stitch the top to the skirt, put in the zipper, and attach these. So I think I'm gonna base these in a pleated position that I want, and then stitch them here. I know they're really supposed to be on the sleeves, but this is not gonna hold it. I'm almost done. The bodice and the skirt have been attached, and put the zipper in on Emmy's new dog bed. The hazards of working on the floor. I've been sewing for so long that I don't make mistakes anymore, said no sewist ever. Ow. I feel very loved, but I was trying to sew. Doing a little bit of a walking test here. Look at how well it flows in motion! I just love the capes. Also, if you look closely, you can see my shoe falling apart. In true Rapunzel style, I did have to go barefoot. Costume is done! I'm so excited, I love this. I really love the capes, although they're kind of hard to walk with, especially if you have dogs around you. If you liked my style of content, subscribe and like this video and follow along for more content. I have a really fun summer project up next, so I'm pretty excited about it. I've been dreaming it up since last fall. So unfortunately, Emmy's Pascal costume is made of fleece and it is about 90 degrees out, so I wasn't gonna put her into that today. So I brought Plush Pascal. Hey buddy. Goodbye everyone from my throne in the garden here, and my sunglasses because it's really sunny now and I can't see a thing without them, so.